ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. This video is directed to this this guy here called Barack Obama Hussein, sent straight from the gates of hell to annihilate every each um, every each human being on this planet by his utmost not powerful god Satan. um I'm gonna play this in a minute. I'm gonna play the video in a minute, because I just found out that after 50 years, Barack Hussein Obama, son of the devil, he uh he wants relationships with Cuba again, my country. I'm Cuban. I've been living in Denmark the last 15 years. Came here back in 2000 when my mom decided to move over here, and we saw that. Um, I'm 27 today, and I really regret giving somehow my mom the consent to actually bring me here. But shit happens, and that's how it is. I was 13. That was my mom. But yeah, um, I've been always a pretty smart guy. I intend to how do you say, declassify this motherfucker's life. I know that many of you already know that this guy is straight from the gates of hell. As I said before, this guy is evil. Barack Hussein Obama is evil. He has done nothing for this world since he been sitting in the office. He has almost taken every single right his own citizens have in his own country. He violates every single human rights. Um, this guy puts death squads around the world. Nobody knowing about this. But still, we just sit at home, watching TV, playing computer games, not realizing that we have what's happening outside our doors, outside our peripheral is uh, is obscene. So what I'm trying to say here is this guy, he wants to come back to Cuba and now open his relationship with the Cuban government. And I know that's some tricky shit about behind that. I mean, Raul Castro, the Cuban president, the brother of Fidel Castro, he must have been doing some dick sucking. I mean, there's the rumors of him being gay. Obama's probably gay too, so there have probably been some dick sucking. And they came to a diabolic agreement about something. Because after I cannot come to a conclusion of what Barack Hussein Obama, say the son of Satan, wants in Cuba for 50 years. Um, makes no sense. Definitely just makes no sense. So we're gonna listen to this guy just for a moment, and I'm gonna talk about what I think about this, and you can probably hear his lies too, but I'm gonna be there to tell you.
Today, the United States of America is changing its relationship with the people of Cuba. In the most significant changes in our policy in more than 50 years, we will end an outdated approach that for decades has failed to advance our interests, and instead, we will begin to normalize relations between our two countries. Through these changes,
Okay, he talks about interest. What interest do you have in Cuba? I would like to know. I would like to know.
we intend to create more opportunities for the American and Cuban people and begin a new chapter among the nations of the Americas. There's a complicated history between the United States and Cuba. I was born in 1961, just over 2 years after Fidel Castro took power in Cuba, and just a few months after the Bay of Pigs invasion, which tried to
let me say something. There have never been any complicated relationship between Cuba and the United States. Yes, the United States mafia, the United States government was back in Cuba back in the 60s, 70s. You know, my brain is not really remembering all this, but I can really say I think that it was back in the 60s, 70s. You know, and Cuban American mafia was in Cuba. You know, robbing and mobbing and you know killing and raping and doing whatever the fuck they wanted. You know, Americans piece of shits. Um, and This motherfucker says complicated relationship with us. No, no, no. You're the ones, Americans. You're the ones who always have a complicated relationship with everybody because you intend to always put your foot on top of everybody. You intend to always take the freedom from everybody. You intend to always put the satanic agenda in everybody else's countries. And we don't need you. We do not need the United States to be able to fucking trade with every other single country. Why is the United States the central of fucking everything? Piece of fucking shit country. Should drown, should fucking sink to the air end end variant of fucking hell with Obama in front. This is what I have to say about America. We're gonna continue here.
Overthrow his regime. Over the next several decades, the relationship between our countries played out against the backdrop of the Cold War and America's steadfast opposition to communism. We're separated by just over 90 miles, but year after year, an ideological and economic barrier hardened between our two countries. Meanwhile, the Cuban
Ideological and economical the economical barrier that you put, you piece of shit. How I hope you have a special spot for you in hell, you piece of shit. You have a special spot for you in hell. And if I come to heaven, I'm gonna be every single day watching down on you suffer. I'm gonna pray for your kids, man. I'm gonna pray for your kids and your wife because I know, man, that you put them in through like this, man, and you sold your kids, you sold your wife to this, oh my God, to the evil, man. And you're just standing there, man. You cannot even watch your face, wife, man. You're not even black, man. You, you disgust me. This guy disgusts me as a human being, man, as a president. I did not, in my 27 years, I could never imagine I would be so disgusted towards a human being. But this guy really disgusts me. Disgusts me in a way that nobody else has this disgust me before like this guy. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move because I get too sentimental about this shit.
exile community in the United States made enormous contributions to our country in politics and business, culture, and sports.
Oh yeah, if you didn't hear that, he was talking about the Cuban community in the U.S. Making big, making you know, helping the U.S., building the U.S. and la la la, all that bullshit.
Like immigrants before, Cubans helped remake America, even as they felt a painful yearning for the land and families they left behind. All of this bound.
Yeah, Barack, man, we had to leave. You know, we had to leave because you blocked, man. You blocked the trade, man. You blocked the food, man, for our kids. You blocked the fucking books for our schools. You blocked the medicines for our sick. You blocked the fucking everything, man. You're gonna pay, man. You're gonna pay one day. There's a God out there that's gonna make you pay.
America and Cuba in a unique relationship, at once family and foe. Proudly, the United States has supported democracy and human rights in Cuba through these 5 decades. We've done so.
Ah. Wait a second. Wait. I need to This motherfucker. This guy. What did he just say? Wait a second. All right.
We've done so primarily through policies that aim to isolate the island.
Let me see.
We've done so proudly. The United States has supported democracy and human rights in Cuba through these 5 decades.
Oh. What? Wait, I need to do this shit.
Human rights in Cuba through these 5 decades. The United States has supported democracy and human rights in Cuba through these 5 decades.
The United States has supported human rights in Cuba. Okay. Is this guy full of shit or is this guy full of shit? Oh no.
We've done so primarily through policies that aim to isolate the island,
Yeah.
preventing the most basic travel and commerce
Yeah.
that Americans can enjoy anyplace else.
Uh-huh.
And though this policy has been rooted in the best of intentions, no other nation joins us in imposing these sanctions, and it has had little effect beyond providing the Cuban government with a rationale for restrictions on its people.
Bullshit.
Today, Cuba is still governed by the Castros and the Communist Party that came to power half a century ago.
Dirty piece of shit, just like you.
Neither the American nor Cuban people are well served by a rigid policy that's rooted in events that took place
Neither the American or the Cuban people la 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 by la 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 shit. Oh my god, I mean this guy, wait.
that took place before most of us were born.
Man.
It's rooted in events that took place before most of us were
What
born.
he's saying is that nobody deserves to be, I mean, to have a regime in their country, to be exploited, to be treated as a fucking slave, to have no human rights, I mean, all the shit that this guy submits his own people, and all the shit that the Cubans are being submit to in Cuba today as right now, he's talking about. I mean, this guy is just.
Born. Consider that for more than 35 years we've had relations with China, a far larger country also governed by a communist party. Nearly 2 decades ago, we reestablished relations with Vietnam, where we fought a war that claimed more Americans than any Cold War confrontation.
And once
That's
again, you
why,
was in
when I
there
came
to
into
fuck it
office,
up.
I promised to re-examine our Cuba policy. As a start, we lifted restrictions for Cuban Americans to travel.
Oh, he lifted Mr. God, Mr. Barack Hussein Obama. He lifted. He's giving us the permit to actually be human beings, to be part of society. Barack Obama, fuck you. Okay? This is shit.
Send remittances to their families in Cuba. These changes, once controversial, now seem obvious.
This guy, man.
Cuban Americans have been reunited with their families and are the best possible ambassadors for our values. And through these exchanges, a younger generation of Cuban Americans has increasingly questioned an approach that does more to keep Cuba closed off from an interconnected world. While I've been prepared to take additional steps for some time,
Oh, you mean
a major obstacle stood in our way.
Okay.
The wrongful imprisonment in Cuba of a U.S. citizen and USAID subcontractor,
The
Alan Gross,
wrongful
for 5 years.
imprisonment.
Over many months, my administration has held discussions with the Cuban government about Alan's case and other aspects of our relationship. His Holiness Pope Francis issued a personal appeal to me
Pope
and to
Francis,
Cuba's President
the
Raul
other
Castro, urging
satanic
us to
piece of
resolve
shit.
Alan's case and
Pope
to address
Francis,
Cuba's
yes, you
interest
heard me.
in the release of 3 Cuban agents who've been jailed in the United States for over 15 years.
Now he's just talking bullshit.
Today,
This is just bullshit
Alan
right here.
returned
It's
home,
just,
reunited with his family
shit that ain't got
at long
nothing to do with
last.
that shit. It's just,
Alan was released by the Cuban government on
my God.
humanitarian grounds.
On humanitarian grounds, yes.
Separately, in exchange for the 3 Cuban agents, Cuba today released one of the most important intelligence agents that the United States has ever had in Cuba, and who has been imprisoned for nearly 2 decades. This man, whose sacrifice has been known to only a few, provided America with the information that allowed us to arrest the network of Cuban agents that included the men transferred to Cuba today,
Amazing.
as well as other spies in the United States.
Amazing.
This man is now safely on our shores.
It's safe in our mission. I'm happy
Having
about that.
recovered these two men who
Mm,
sacrificed for our country, I'm now taking steps to place the interests of the people of both countries at the heart of our policy.
yes.
First,
Look at
I've
what it's
instructed
bringing.
Secretary Kerry to immediately begin discussions with Cuba.
Listen, Europe ain't shit. Europe ain't shit. Europe has never been shit. Okay? Um, Back when the Indians and the Mayans and shit like that, yeah, and the Africans and the queens and the kings and the queens of Africa, when they had jewels, when they had everything, when they had everything, and the white man had nothing, and they actually had to look out of their cold fucking country for shit to warm up with, other better places, and they found our countries, our islands. Yeah, we come in peace, but we're still gonna give you this so you can defend yourselves. I would have loved to be alive back then, so I could say defend us from who and people like him, Barack Obama. This is what happening. This is the same as happening now. After 50 years, he's coming back and he's saying, "I'm gonna give you this," but it's to put Satan in my country. You know, my people are deceiving, and people are blinded, and the devil is good at working people. And I'm not gonna say my country is my country is the best, if you ask me. But I know that we have our own problems, in our own societies, with um, prostitution and we have a large amount of gay people in Cuba, and that's not what I'm talking about. But when you think about it, we have drugs, and when you think about it, Barack Obama is not bringing anything new to Cuba. He's bringing what the old world around Cuba, the old and disgusting world around Cuba, because Cuba is a sealed off island. If you think about it. So what it's bringing right now is just madness and I don't know, just more madness, freedom, and I'm not happy about that.
To reestablish diplomatic relations that have been severed since January of 1961.
Hmm.
Going forward, the United States will reestablish an embassy in Havana, and high-ranking officials will visit Cuba. Where we can advance shared interests,
Hmm.
we will,
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
issues like health, migration.
So high-ranking uh, officers from the American government that don't Cuba. So we all know what it's that for. We can start a new regime plan. Hmm. Give the in power more, more power. So the police is gonna have more power. The police is gonna have more shit to you know to address the protests. Um, the police in Cuba probably gonna get more cars and shit like that. Cubans are gonna get beaten more than usual. Because that's what he's bringing. He's bringing the beating. He's bringing the porno. He's bringing the disgustingness. He's bringing the drugs, and he's bringing the non-moral fucking faces from the United States. He's bringing that shit to my country. Yes, he's doing that. This this piece of shit. Yes, he's doing that.
Counterterrorism, drug trafficking, and disaster response. Indeed, we've seen the benefits of cooperation between our countries before.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Cuban, Carlos Finlay, who discovered that mosquitoes carry yellow fever. His work helped Walter Reed fight it.
Yes.
Cuba has sent hundreds of healthcare workers to Africa to fight Ebola.
Yes.
And I believe American and Cuban healthcare workers should work side by side
Mm-hmm.
to stop the spread of this deadly disease.
Wonderful, Obama. Wonderful, wonderful.
Now, where we disagree,
Mm-hmm.
we will raise those differences directly,
Mm-hmm.
as we will continue to do on issues related to democracy
Mm-hmm.
and human rights in Cuba.
You got no democracy in
I
your own
believe that we
fucking
can do
country,
more.
you piece of shit. You know? You got no democracy, man. And this guy's talking about bringing democracy to my country, man, and human rights to my country. This motherfucker, straight from the gates of hell, he got no democracy, no human rights in his own fucking piece of shit country, yeah. And he's talking about bringing that shit to my country. Is this guy for real? What the fuck, man?
To support the Cuban people and promote our values.
We don't need your
through
fucking
engagement.
support. What values do you have? You don't got no fucking values, man. You cheaper than a fucking hoe, man. Piece of shit. You sold your
After all,
goddamn soul to the devil,
these 50 years
motherfucker.
have shown that isolation has not worked.
Yeah, isolation has
It's
not
time for
worked.
a new
No,
approach.
no. And who are you? And who are you to talk about that we are isolated? Like, you know, yes, you isolated us, but who the fuck was you, you know, to isolate a country like that? You know, and fuck with the rest of all your fucking countries who never did nothing to actually say, yo, America, what the fuck? You don't run shit. We all run this. Yes, fuck you all too, okay? So, continuing here with this motherfucking piece of shit liar.
Second, I've instructed Secretary Kerry to review Cuba's
Carey.
designation as
Jim
a
Carrey. Wow. Jim Carrey, what the fuck's his name? Yeah, Carrey. I know who he's talking about. There's another piece of shit liar straight from the gates of hell. One of his homies.
state sponsor of terrorism.
Uh-huh.
This review will be guided by the facts
Oh,
and the
man,
law.
shit, man.
Terrorism has changed in the last several decades. At a time when we are focused on threats from Al-Qaeda, ISIL,
Threat from
a
Al
nation that
Qaeda,
meets all
ISIL that you
conditions and
made up,
renounces
Al
the use
Qaeda
of
that you
terrorism
made up.
should not face this sanction.
Mm-hmm.
Third,
Third.
we are taking steps to increase travel, commerce, and the flow of information to and from Cuba.
Now, this sounds good. Flow of information, trouble, and shit like that. Yeah, we need that shit in Cuba. But you know what comes after that? You know what comes after that? We all know it.
This is fundamentally about freedom and openness.
Just
And
put the
also
middle of freedom. Freedom! Free. Dumb! If you think you're free, then you're dumb. Free? Dumb. There's no freedom. Motherfucker ain't talking about no freedom. He's the one who got freedom. We ain't got no freedom. Freedom.
expresses my belief in the power of people-to-people engagement.
My
With the
God.
changes I'm announcing today, it will be easier for Americans to travel to Cuba,
Yeah.
and Americans will be able to use American credit and
And
debit
we are
cards
so
on
happy
the island.
about having
Nobody
Americans
represents
traveling to
America's
Cuba so
values better
easy.
than
Oh
the
wow,
American
yes.
people,
Crazy
and I believe this
motherfuckers.
contact will ultimately do more to empower the Cuban people.
I shit, it won't empower
I also
nobody.
believe that more resources should be able to reach the Cuban people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're significantly increasing the amount of money that can be sent to Cuba and removing limits on remittances that support humanitarian projects, the Cuban people, and the emerging Cuban private sector. I believe that American businesses should not be put at a disadvantage, and that increased commerce is good for Americans and for Cubans. So we will facilitate authorized transactions between the United States and Cuba. U.S. financial institutions will be allowed to open accounts at Cuban financial institutions, and it will be easier for U.S. exporters to sell goods in Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the free flow of information. Unfortunately, our sanctions on Cuba have denied Cubans access to technology that has empowered individuals around the globe. So I've authorized increased telecommunications connections between the United States and Cuba.
He has
Businesses will
authorized.
be able to sell goods
He
that
has
enable Cubans to
authorized.
communicate with the
He,
United
the
States
God of
and
the
Cuba.
world, the Almighty,
These are the steps that I can take as
Emperor
president to
of the
take.
fucking world, man.
The embargo that's been imposed for
Amazing.
decades is now codified in legislation.
Fucking amazing, man. I'm
As
pissed
the
about
changes
this, man.
unfold, I look forward to engaging Congress in an honest and serious debate
I was thinking
about
that when
lifting
this day
the
will
embargo.
come, I will be happy, but this day,
Yesterday, I
I'm not
spoke
happy.
with Raul Castro
I'm not
to
happy.
finalize Alan Gross's release and the
I'm not
exchange of
happy
prisoners,
about this shit.
and to describe how we will move forward.
I'd rather have
Clear
my,
my
my
strong
country to
belief that
continue
Cuban society
being
is
poor
constrained by the
than taking
restrictions on its
help
citizens.
from this Satan,
In addition
this
to the
devil.
return of Alan Gross and the release of our intelligence agent, we welcome Cuba's decision to release a substantial number of prisoners whose cases were directly raised with the Cuban government by my team. We welcome Cuba's decision to provide more access to the internet for its citizens and to continue increasing engagement with international institutions like the United Nations and the
The
International Committee
United
of the Red Cross
Nations.
that promote
The United
universal values.
Nations.
But I'm under no illusion about
United
the
Nations. That the
continued barriers
motherfuckers
to
don't know
freedom that remain
the
for
word
ordinary Cubans.
united.
The United States believes that no Cuban should face harassment or arrest or beatings simply because
What about the Americans? What about your people? Should they be submitted to harassment and beatings in the streets and the shootings and all the shit they're being submitted to every single day in your own piece of shit country? Yeah. So now you're talking about the Cuban people, not this, not that, huh? Man.
they're exercising a universal right to have their voices heard. And we will
Universal
continue to
right.
support civil society there. While Cuba has made reforms to gradually open up its economy, we continue to believe that Cuban workers should be free to form unions, just as their citizens should be free to participate in the political process.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, given Cuba's history, I expect it will continue to pursue foreign policies that will at times be sharply at odds with American interests.
Mm-hmm.
I do not expect the changes I'm announcing today to bring about a transformation of Cuban society overnight. But I am convinced that through a policy of engagement, we can more effectively stand up for our values and help the Cuban people help themselves as they move into the 21st century. To those who oppose the steps I'm announcing today,
I
let me
oppose you,
say
piece
that
of
I respect your
shit.
passion
My passion,
and share
huh?
your commitment to
My
liberty and
commitment.
democracy.
Huh? Liberty and democracy.
You
Yes, I
must
want
ask
liberty and
how
democracy, you
we
piece of
uphold that
fucking
commitment.
gay piece of motherfucker.
I do not believe we can keep doing
Oh
the
my
same
god.
thing
This guy,
for
man.
over 5 decades and
What the
expect a
fuck are you
different
laughing at,
result.
man?
Moreover,
The
it does
guy is
not
even
serve
laughing,
America's
man. Look at
interests
this. The guy is even
or the
laughing
Cuban
at what the
people
fuck he's saying. Look at this.
that commitment.
Look. Just watch his
I do not
expression.
believe we can keep
Right
doing the
there, right there,
same
right there. Look
thing
at him. Look at
for
him.
over 5 decades and
Look at
expect
him.
a different result.
Even his voice changes because he knows that what he's saying is bullshit, man. Watch
Moreover,
correctly. Watch.
I do not believe we can keep doing the same thing
Look at his face.
for over 5 decades and
Just look at his
expect a
face.
different result. Moreover, it does not serve America's interests or the Cuban people
You just know you
to try
lying
to
piece of
push Cuba
shit,
towards
man.
collapse. Even if that worked,
So yes, ladies and
as we
gentlemen,
leave
I'm just
Cuba,
saying I'm not happy about this
we
shit,
know
and I
from
hope
hard-earned
Cubans
experience
out
that
there,
countries
man,
are
my
more
fellow
likely
Cubans,
to
I know
promote
that this
lasting
is
transformation if the
bullshit,
people are
and I hope
considerate
that
of
they
their
know
rights.
that this is the devil coming to Cuba. Huh? It's the devil coming to Cuba. Yeah? To put the internet in Cuba, you know, to 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 fucking open doors to more fucked up kind of people who are around this world. Yeah. Um, and deliberately fuck everything up, in our country more than it already is. Fuck everything up, take the rights from the people and give it to the government more, because that's what they're gonna do. That's just what they're gonna do, man. And it's probably not gonna happen in the beginning, but it's gonna happen right after, and I'm sure about that. I'm so sure about that because I've been seeing this the last 27 years. War here, America there. War here, America there. War here, and America there. Well, you know what? I hope you are not so fucking stupid, people, to think that everything is gonna be wonderful. Because it's not. I'm sorry. It's Barack Obama we're talking about. It's the same live piece of shit that brought down the fucking two towers, yeah? With his homie fucking Bush, okay? Same piece of shit who found the boss of Al Qaeda. Found it after so many years. All of a sudden, he just found it. Yeah. This, I got no words. I'm saying, Cubans, open your eyes, open some debates, talk about this shit because this is not good. Don't be thinking, oh, this is good. No, this is not good at all. Peace out.